If it doesn't pass, I would say I am 98% sure that MLS will be dead in St. Louis.
That David Peacock after the stunning loss of the MLS stadium vote in the city of St. Louis 2 days ago. Bill McDermott, who is soccer royalty here in town, also a soccer analyst with St. Louis FC here on the Big 550 KTRS. Bill, welcome back to the show.
Hi, McGraw. How you doing?
Good. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are that I'm still disappointed, bitterly disappointed. But we live in a democracy. Everyone reminds me of that. They've reminded me of that since 11 o'clock on Tuesday night. But I think, McGraw, that I think we had three strikes on us from the very outset. Number one, there was still a blatant layover, if you will, from the whole Stan Kroenke episode.
Right.
And the fact that the stadium, however you want to phrase it, but there was still a holdover from that. No question. Number two, the fact that people just had the conception that this was going to be public money, and no matter how many groups we went to visit, talk to, homeowners groups, union groups, neighborhood associations, town halls, I still think we could get away from that. And number three, because people at the very outset listened to people in authority, as soon as the new governor came in and said he was blatantly against anything of this nature, there was a holdover from that as well, irrespective of the fact that they didn't listen to the fact that nothing was coming out of their pockets from the very outset. So from the very get-go, we were kind of playing from behind.
Is there, Bill, in your mind, any plan B, any other way to get this done?
None whatsoever. Unless from out of nowhere, someone falls from out of the sky with $60 million. And you and I know the chances of that happening. No, there is no other plan. Jim Kavanaugh had made everyone abundantly aware of that from the very get-go, as a matter of fact, because he had been asked that from the very get-go as well.
Right.
No, there is no plan B. No, sir.
What about like Steve Stanger or a county executive in St. Charles, Elman, coming in and saying, hey, if you move the stadium out to the county or St. Charles, we could throw you a couple bucks?
Well, that has to do some real talking to MLS, because MLS has aired in the past, McGraw, in Commerce City, Colorado, which is way, way away from downtown Denver, in Frisco, Texas, which is nowhere remotely close to downtown Dallas, Texas, and in particular, the one they've really aired on was in Bridgeview, Illinois, which is immediately adjacent to Midway Airport in Chicago, as opposed to being adjacent to downtown Chicago. They don't want any part of that. They want their sport to be in a downtown urban area, contributing mainly and mostly to millennials who are really driving this league right now. So there's not going to be any talk of a venue being in a county area.
The vote turnout was surprisingly high, and
Yes.
North City, not shocking, didn't vote for it. But a lot of people are talking about the amount of no votes in some of those soccer-rich neighborhoods in South City.
Which took all of us aback, took everyone aback. I was working at a poll right in the heart of South City at Our Lady of Sorrows Parish, where I would venture to say, McGraw, contrary to what you had just talked about, we were taken aback by the fact that so many did not. We were all pro down there. Now, I wasn't asking questions, but when you hand out the literature, at least people. Jeff Rainford's philosophy, Jeff Peacock told me, was that if they look you in the eye and say, yes, I'm going to vote for it, that is indeed accurate. They're going to. But it seemed to be majority seemed to be pro in my particular area. But yes, we were taken aback by it. And I think, despite the fact that everything that we tried to do with reference to educating, I think just some of the holdovers, the three holdovers that I talked about at the very outset, I think those were still plentiful in people's minds.
I agree with you. I listening to some of the callers over the last couple of days, you keep explaining to them. They say, I didn't want my sales tax dollars going that. I'm like, it wasn't sales tax. Well, they should have told us. It's like, well, how many more ways can they tell you that?
We bent over backwards to tell people, to educate them as much as possible, to let them to be as transparent as possible. It was a use tax. Here's how that's going to work, and in the future, after a 30-year lease. And another thing on McGraw, that part of the holdover, again, this had something to do with the whole Stan Kroenke odyssey. People were wary. They were very wary of the fact that, oh, these guys are going to leave St. Louis after 10, 15, 20, 25 years. This team, this group wasn't going anywhere. They were not going anywhere at all.
I agree. The hangover of Stan Kroenke. So, I mean, Stan Kroenke dings us again, and he's not even out here. Yeah.
Even in his absence, he continues.
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. Bill, you're going to be busy tonight with the tribute to Jay Randolph.
Yeah, and everyone has said, well, how are you going to handle this as a commemoration of his wonderful life in St. Louis, his work with NBC Sports, his heart? No, this is a roast, and that's entirely how I'm proceeding with it. And I'm doing mine a little bit different, McGraw. I'm going at it like the old Friars Club days and the Dean Martin celebrity roast. And that's all I'll say right now.
He's going old school.
So,
very much so, Kelly. Yes, very much so.
Basically, hide the women and children because
no, it's not going to be. It's not going to be the the midnight show where it's totally blue. No, not by any means. I know we're going to be on KTRS.
All right.
Now there might be some suggestive lines, but that's as far as it'll go.
It's a tribute to Jay Randolph tonight out at Westport. Among the Friar roasters will be our very own legendary Bill McDermott. Bill, we'll see you tonight. Thanks for checking in.
All right, guys. Thank you very much.
You got it. 7:24 here. Big